Greetings, metalheads. George here from No Nonsense Metal Reviews, back again with another Bands You Need to Hear recommendation. Another band, if you haven't come across this one, I'd be surprised, but you must check them out. It's absolutely essential listening. So, this band is actually a band that I discovered maybe 3-4 years ago and rapidly fell in love with, I have to admit. Absolutely love this band. Only got a few albums in their catalogue. They've only actually been around since 2011. They've only got 3 full-length albums. I say only got 3 full-length albums, but we have 3 excellent full-length albums. We've also got some singles, EPs, bits and pieces, and a brilliant live album as well thrown into the mix. I am talking about the excellent Night Demon. This band hail from Ventura, California, in fact, and they have been in existence. A quick metal encyclopedia researching tells me they've been in existence since 2011, so getting on for 15 years, or around 15 years now. So really, 3 full lengths, live album, EP, etc. in 15 years isn't necessarily that much. Some bands will release an album every 1 to 2 to 3 years. That said, from recently reading an interview with frontman, main man Jarvis Leatherby in the Fistful of Metal magazine, the impression that I got, and I think he really did make clear in that interview, was that Night Demon are not a band to rush their material. They really do take their time and they make their material top quality. They don't just spit out any old thing. No comparisons, not going to compare them to anyone else, but essentially Night Demon are a first-rate heavy metal band, very much at the forefront of the exploding new wave of traditional heavy metal scene, which is heavily drawing on influences from not just the NWOBHM, the new wave of British heavy metal, which birthed really some of the biggest metal bands ever, and also some of the best. Bands like Iron Maiden, bands like Def Leppard, Tigers of Pantang, Diamond Head, and my absolute all-time favourites, the mighty Saxon. But we've also got influences being drawn from the great US, American heavy metal bands as well, and European bands. So it's not just all about the NWOBHM. That's not the vibe that I get there. Certainly a clear influence of that scene though. So Night Demon are an awesome band. Absolutely just fell in love with this band when I first discovered them through their debut album, Curse of the Damned. Now this absolute titan of an album was actually released in 2014, I believe. Recently has, in the last couple of years, it's had a very lavish re-release, which I do actually have here. I have recently just picked up the Ultimate Edition, which was released for the, I believe, well, would have been the 10th anniversary. So 10 years of this absolutely monstrous album. It's had a extensive re-release with 3 vinyls, 3 CDs, a tape, DVD, comic book, posters, all of that good stuff. But I'm not going to rummage through this box set today. I will do that in a separate review coming soon. But I will honestly say, as an honest metalhead, this is an absolutely essential metal album. This is, in my opinion, the best new wave of British heavy metal album that was not part of the new wave of British heavy metal. It, for all intents and purposes, is absolutely just full of that awesome sound and style. It just reeks of Maiden, it reeks of Saxon, and it reeks of good old Diamond Head. That kind of stuff is just oozing from your speakers when you're blasting this absolute monstrosity of an album. and I absolutely love it, start to finish. I think they've pretty much been a power trio, a 3-piece band for their duration. Just trying to see if we had a lineup shot in here, but I don't think we do. But there have been a few lineup changes over the years, I will confirm, but the main man, Jarvis, he's obviously been there the whole time. Good vocalist, actually. I would say he has got a good voice. Maybe not a Bruce Dickinson or a Rob Halford, but certainly a very capable and very talented singer. Certainly. But this album is absolutely full of galloping, glorious heavy metal riffs, thunderous, booming low-end percussive bass, and some top-notch drumming. So really, if you're looking for something that you can just headbang along to, you can just rock out, you can grab your denim and leather, you can grab your beer, and you can just have a good time too, Curse of the Damned. Essential tracks. Screams in the Night. The title track is brilliant. Full Speed Ahead. The Howling Man is absolutely just storming. Absolutely freaking storming. Just the whole album. I couldn't honestly pick one single favourite track from this album. It is that good. So they followed up this hugely excellent and satisfying album with, a couple of years later, an equally brilliant album. Maybe not as NWOBHM though. Certainly, I think by the time we have the second album, Darkness Remains, this album has a much more of their own kind of sound and feel to it. This is actually a 2024 reissue. I'm going to take a guess. It's been a little while since I've actually checked out the exact dates on the album releases, but I think this one might have been about 2017. But this is a great album. Still very heavy metal. You know, they've always been a very heavy metal band. First album, absolutely oozing with NWOBHM. This album, certainly more their own kind of established sound and style. They're coming into more of a Night Demon sound here. Start to finish, brilliant stuff though. I have to admit, Hallowed Ground, Welcome to the Night into Hallowed Ground is just absolutely brilliant. Maiden Hell, which is obviously a tribute to the mighty Iron Maiden, is just glorious. We've got Stranger in the Room is brilliant. Life on the Run, Dawn Rider, Black Widow, On Your Own. It's just start to finish, top-notch stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Roaring, raging heavy metal. Amazing guitar solos. Just glorious riffs. Great vocals as well. Absolutely superb. And I've just realised that I totally overlooked, leaping straight into the debut, Curse of the Damned, the debut EP, the self-titled EP, which I held up first of all. This is awesome. This is an awesome EP. It's very much, I think it was released the year prior to Curse of the Damned, 2013, 2014. This is a 2024 reissue. But this is very much, again, in the NWOBHM kind of sound and style. This sounds very raw and stripped back. You know, there's no bells and whistles. There's no kind of going for the grand stuff here. This is just Saxon style heavy metal. You know, plenty of rocking riffs, plenty of groove in there, great vocals as well. And these recent reissues are really nice as well. This one actually has some bonus tracks as well that are maybe not essential listening, but they're certainly a good listen for the fans. The Night Demon track is brilliant. The Chalice, Ancient Evil, Ritual, Axe Crazy. Great Diamond Head cover of Lightning to the Nations thrown into the mix. But it does sound quite youthful and juvenile actually with this release. Definitely clear indication of where they were going though, as a truly fantastic heavy metal band. And yeah, some good demos and live stuff thrown into the mix. So we had the EP, we had Curse of the Damned, we had Darkness Remains, of course, excellent stuff. An EP, 2 full lengths, clearly that was enough for Night Demon to drop their first double disc live album, Live Darkness. This is brilliant. It's an absolutely brilliant live album. Year of release, barely read it on there, 2018. This is storming. This is an absolutely fantastic live album. I recently was planning on doing this as a live Killers recommendation, but thought, you know what? I can't believe I haven't recommended Night Demon already as a band you need to hear. So forget it, I'm doing the whole thing. But it says here, very fittingly, traditional heavy metal for fans of Iron Maiden, Saxon, Judas Priest, Diamond Head, and more. If you need more confirmation and admission of the band that the NWOBHM is clearly where they're coming from, and British steel is what they've been forged with, then I don't know what is. Absolutely brilliant. But this is obviously all material from the early years of the band, those first two absolutely storming albums. Obviously, won't pick highlights here, but it really is a fantastic live album. Pretty sure it's still pretty readily available as well. But one of the best live albums that I have heard in a long time. I've had that in the collection for a few years, and it's one I regularly come back to. So they followed up with a number of singles and bits and pieces released across the dark COVID years. There's a few bonus tracks or B-sides thrown in, but they then compiled all of those singles and all the B-sides in this one handy collection, which was released 2020. This is Year of the Demon. Great cover. Absolutely love that. And this release consists of, what have we got here? 4 original tracks. All brilliant original tracks, I must admit. Absolutely fantastic. Empire's Fall is killer. Kill the Pain's a great one. Are You Out There is a good number. And Visteria. But then we get some maybe less essential tracks, but some good, enjoyable tracks, actually. We get a cover of Fast Bikes. We get a Lizzie classic, The Sun Goes Down, which is just fantastic. We get a Kirith Ungol cover, which, of course, Jarvis Leatherby, if you're not familiar, bassist, vocalist of Night Demon. He is actually a member of Kirith Ungol as well. Awesome stuff. Really cool. If you're a Scorpions fan, we get 2 live Scorpion tracks covered in trance and top of the bill, featuring none other than Uli John Roth. I think they were recorded in Germany as well. It's fantastic. And keeping with the Maiden worship and absolute love, we get a live version of Wasted Years. And it's a good cover. Non-essential, but good stuff, certainly if you're a Night Demon fan. Then brings us up to date with their most recent full-length album from 2023. This album is fantastic. This was a little bit of a slow one to grow on me, I must admit, because it is quite different from the previous 2 albums. There's obviously quite a gap, 5-6 years between albums. But Outsider, which has a great cover, it is still a heavy metal album, but it sounds considerably less NWOBHM, considerably less new wave British heavy metal, far more Night Demon. It's got far more of their own heavy metal sound there. It does have that, a little bit more of that kind of US heavy metal sound by this point, but it's a brilliant album. It's got fantastic hooks and melodies. Where they want to be a little bit more kind of mid-paced, a little bit slower, melancholic, they can, but they really do paint some brilliant atmospheres and soundscapes with this album. The prelude into Outsider is just a fantastic opener. It's a really bold, dynamic opening track there. It's a hard rocking number. Obsidian is fantastic. Beyond the Grave has some fantastic riffs in it. It's very catchy, full of hooks. Rebirth, Escape from Beyond, Awake, and The Wrath, all are killer. No filler stuff here, absolutely not. I mentioned they've had various lineup changes throughout the years. Still obviously got Jarvis on bass and vocals. We've got Armand John Anthony on guitars, keyboards, backing vocals. At this stage, we had Dusty Squires on drums. I think he has since left the band. Just to give some nods to Armand as a truly fantastic shredder, absolutely brilliant guitar player, some killer guitar work going on there. And obviously, but he's been a long running member of the band. That guy knows his way around a fretboard. And actually Dusty, great drumming as well. So this is a really solid, much more matured and refined album. For me, I couldn't necessarily pick favorite tracks from that album either. I think it's just a really comprehensive piece of work. And I wouldn't actually even like to pick a favorite Night Demon album. I think I probably would come back to The Brilliant Curse of the Damned, but I think all three of these full lengths are equally brilliant albums, really strong, just awesome heavy metal, absolutely fantastic. If you love the greats, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Diamond Head, Saxon, absolutely you are going to love Night Demon. I say that with confidence. But also if you like some of the emerging bands of the newer waves of British heavy metal, shall we say, bands like Tailgunner, for example, who are absolutely riding high. There's plenty of names out there as well, but escaping me at the moment. And actually just younger, brilliant heavy metal bands like Crystal Viper, Burning Witches, for example. And there's countless others out there as well, but drawing a blank at the moment. If you like those more modern heavy metal bands, you are going to enjoy the Night Demon. Fantastic freaking band. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant instrumentals, a true heavy metal power trio, great vocalist and bassist in Jarvis as well. So I strongly suggest checking out Night Demon, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what the band come up with next. I am also looking forward to completing my listening of all of the components of the Curse of the Damned Ultimate Edition box set, which, if you're interested, do check back soon, because I will be reviewing this in depth once I have finally finished listening to all of the various discs. So, my friends, what are your thoughts and opinions on the mighty Night Demon? Are you a fan already? If not, do check them out and then let me know what you think, because they are awesome. Thanks for watching, my friends. Hope you've enjoyed this humble bands you need to hear recommendation review. Night Demon, check them out. Essential heavy metal. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. All the support is greatly appreciated as always. Check back soon for more reviews, ramblings, and recommendations of all those good heavy things. Until next time, my friends, take care of yourselves, listen to the Night Demon, and stay frickin' heavy.